you've been on the ladder before, haven't you?
Yes, sir.
This is not your first time.
No.
And you're wearing the whole world on your shoulders.
Yes, sir.
And you like the whole world because you're a cartographer.
Yeah, I'm a mapaholic.
A mapaholic.
A map freak.
And you do maps, and you look at cartography.
Yes, sir.
So that's what we call you.
Right.
And you want to talk about specifically something on a map, a city on a map, don't you?
Yes. I took on the map industry as a young man, somehow won, and now I'm in a situation I learned another enormous error. I want to talk about where is Mecca?
Where is Mecca?
Can somebody tell me where is Mecca?
Wait a minute, before we get into that, why are you even asking this question? Why Mecca?
Why is Mecca? Did Abraham build Mecca? Could Abraham have built Mecca?
Hey, hold on, even before that, in chapter 7, verse 24 of the Quran, Adam and Eve are thrown out of the Garden of Eden, up in space, down to where?
Mecca.
So, is there any city earlier than Adam and Eve?
No.
So they're the first people, right?
According to your expertise.
This means the first habitation for mankind.
Yes.
Which means the oldest city in history, right?
Right.
Now here we go. In chapter 21, we have the story of Abraham. In chapter 21, verse 51 to 71, and Abraham is in the Masjid al-Haram, right?
Yes.
So the Masjid al-Haram is what? What is this?
You tell me.
It's the Kaaba.
Kaaba,
so
okay.
The Kaaba is in Mecca today.
Yes.
So that means in 1900 BC, Mecca had to be there, right?
Yeah.
According to both chapter 7 and chapter 21.
You know better than myself.
Well, I'm just...
Sure.
You now know that, right? Because I'm quoting from the Quran.
Sure.
So if the Quran states that Mecca was there as the earliest place of mankind, and Mecca was there when Abraham was there in 1900 BC, it should be a pretty important city.
It has to be the most important city, and map makers always put the most important city in the center, bold, highlighted, no matter what era, even whether it's 2,000 years ago, 3,000 years ago.
According to the traditions say that Mecca was at the center of trade, north, south, east, and west. So it controlled the trade.
It controlled the trade, but the trade routes, take a look here. There's the Nabatean trade routes. Look carefully.
Okay, hold on. So if it was the center of trade, Jim.
Yes, sir.
It would be pretty well known, wouldn't it?
Everybody know it, and all map makers put it in the middle.
The traders would have spoken about it.
And it's in big print, highlighted, and starred.
They would have written about it.
It'd be right in the middle, like taking up half the map.
So Dr. Patricia Crona, the world's leading authority on Mecca, who reads and writes 15 languages, went and tried to find Mecca. And she went to the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, all the way up to the 7th and 8th century. She read all the original documents. She could not find any reference in any documents to the city of Mecca. So already we're seeing a problem. If there's no documentation for this city, what does that mean?
There's no evidence. There's no city. And I just know on the map, it is not there.
Okay, now let's go to your maps now.
Okay, this is the Nabatean. Okay, whichever you want to do, but just hold steady. Okay, here come the trade routes of the great empires of the 1st century AD. In the 1st century AD, we have the Roman Empire, the Parthian Empire, the Kushan Empire going to India, the Han Chinese, Ni Hao, and Chinese Empire. Look at all those trade routes. And they're even going from Petra to Mur, and they go through there. Where is Mecca? The world's biggest and most important city should be the size of that era, probably the size of the whole Arabian Peninsula. Map makers highlighted it is the most important. It'd be bold, capitals like a supernova.
Okay, so you're saying with all these trade routes, they do go up certainly the western.
Yes.
They call it the Western
the Western Arabian Peninsula.
Okay, and it's long, and they start in Aden,
yes.
They go to Sana, they go to Najran, they go to Taif, they go to Yathrib.
And they make it to Petra in this one.
No,
okay.
They don't go, we're down in Kaiba.
Okay.
Then they go to Tabuk, and then they go to Petra.
I'm sorry.
All right, so that's the way the north.
Yes,
so
sir.
that is the trade route, right?
And here's a very specific one right there.
There it is, okay, there we are. So here is Majah, Hama, Najran. There is, it used to be called Yathrib, there it is. There's Khaybar, there's Taima, there's Tauf, there's Basra, and of course Damascus and Petra.
Yes.
Okay, is Mecca on the trade route? That's my question.
It is not on the trade route. It is.
There's the trade route. Put it back again. Turn around. There's the trade route. Do you see Mecca on that
It
trade
is
route?
not on the trade route.
Where would Mecca be if it
It
wasn't?
would be somewhere in this region.
Right
It's
here.
empty. It's a void. It's a black hole.
So it's not here. It should be there.
Yeah, and we got a black hole.
Here's another map. We actually have 7 maps from
Eight.
the 7th century. 8 maps from the 7th century. It's not on any one of those maps. Why is that significant?
Because a map maker would always put the world's most important, well-known city where Adam and Eve were, where 70 prophets were, that Abraham built, right in the center, highlighted, bold print. It should be jumping off the map in the center of the
70
map.
prophets that died there.
Yeah, it should be jumping off the map. Instead of jumping off the map, give me a second on this one. Instead of jumping off the map, if you look carefully, the one thing map makers never do to the most important is cut it off like it doesn't exist. They don't do that. All the gold in Dubai, you couldn't give them that. All the black gold in the Persian Gulf, I wouldn't believe that.
Okay, all right. So can you see, folks, this is pretty damaging to Islam. It's pretty damaging because Mecca has to exist. So Mecca is where the Kaaba is. Mecca is where they circumambulate 7 times. Mecca has been there since Adam and Eve. Mecca is where Abraham rebuilt the Kaaba with Ishmael.
It can't be. Look at how they cut it off. Map maker never cut it off. That's a sacred cow. They don't do that.
Something that important.
Oh my God! It should be right in the absolute center, jumping off the page. Anybody back in the 7th century should be able to say, wow, it's Mecca-centric.
Now, you say Ptolemy in the 2nd century, he listed all the towns and all the cities that are in Arabia, did he not?
Yes,
Not called Saudi Arabia at that time.
sure.
So, did he mention Mecca in any of his documentation?
No!
So even in the documentary account from the 2nd century, which predates Muhammad by 500 years, nothing.
And the map just cut off at 0. Map makers don't do that. Give me a sec. Of any city, state, country. I've been around the world so many times, I'm about to get to my 6th trip to Hong Kong. But the map makers don't do it.
Now can you see why this is important? For Muslims, they have to have Mecca.
Yes.
For Muslims, they have to have a place that has always existed from the time of mankind.
Yes, sir.
They have to have it because Abraham is pretty important.
Abraham's supposed to build Mecca, and it's not there. 7th century
Ptolemy
Arabia.
them knew nothing about it in the 2nd
No,
century.
nobody knew nothing.
And now Muhammad was born there. Muhammad
Again, you're-
lived there for 52 years.
You're far more knowledgeable of that than
Well,
me.
you know, everybody that's watching knows this.
Okay.
And then he moved from Mecca to Medina in 622.
Yes.
And then he came back to Mecca in 630.
Yes, sir.
But there was no city called Mecca in 630.
Look at that in the 7th century.
This is the 7th century. So what city did he come back to? Where was he born? So if Mecca did not exist, what do you do with Muhammad?
I'm not the expert in that, but I think somebody might be a good answer at that one. I
We're
mean,
going to talk about that later with someone else.
but I trust you.
Any last thing you want to say before we go? Yeah, you have a question.
In 1976, I lived in Oman, and it was a very important centre for frankincense, but I didn't see any sign of routes from Oman towards China, and they also traded, I think, with the Roman world as well. So why are those not on that map? Okay.
Oman is along the bottom of the Hadramat. Therefore, it's all land. All the trade was coming from India and China. And they could not go up the Persian Gulf because of the Sassanians and the Byzantines warring against each other from the 5th, 6th, and 7th century. They had to redirect the trade down past Oman to what is today Yemen. And they had to go to what's the big
Sana?
Aden in Yemen. And then they did not take the goods off in Aden. They went up the Red Sea because they're on ship. It's much cheaper to go on ship than to go over land. So there would be no reason to go over land when you have ship. You have the Arabian Sea. And then they went all the way up the Arabian Sea, all the way up to the Gulf of Aqaba. And from the Gulf of Aqaba, they then took it off at Basra. And from Basra, they went off across Iraq, across what is today Israel, over to the Mediterranean. Does that answer your question?
I think so, yes. Basically,
Now, can
It was maritime.
you have not shown this evening.
It was maritime.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a last word in closing?
All you go.
All glory goes to Jesus Christ. I am nobody important. I should not get in the way. If anybody talking about anything else, get me out of the way. Please delete it. I'm irrelevant. What matters is I'm a map zealot. You couldn't pay me all the black gold and the Persian gold. Not every bit of it. I hope the war's over soon. But you couldn't pay me that to believe that Abraham built Mecca. Thank you.